trying to get more information, but that's how they're treating it right now until they get those extra details. Let's bring in our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, and I understand that you now have a response specifically from President Biden.
The president, Whit, is out with a statement, and he notes, of course, that he has been briefed on this. He is watching this unfold from his beach house in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. And the president says in this statement, I'm going to read it to you. He says, quote, "I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who are at the rally as we await further information." The president goes on to say, "Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety," adding, "There's no place for this kind of violence in America. We must unite as one nation to condemn it." Of course, Whit, we know this moment comes at a point in our nation's history when political rhetoric in this country is extremely divisive, and we are already seeing this incident being politicized. Some Republicans pointing a finger at the president already, arguing, of course, baselessly that President Biden is somehow to blame for this, noting, of course, that President Biden has put at the center of this campaign the argument that Trump is a danger to democracy. But tonight, the statement from the president just now, of course, grateful that Donald Trump is safe and doing well, praying for him, and thankful, of course, for the Secret Service for getting him to safety. Whit.
All right, that statement from President Biden. Mary Bruce, thank you. I want to go back to John Santucci, our executive editorial producer. John, you've been in touch with Trump's family.
The eldest son of the former president. He tells ABC News when he has spoken to his father in just the last couple of moments, described former President Trump as being in good spirits. He is still at the hospital, according to his son, and he told me with his father is, quote, never gonna stop. Now, obviously, this is the first time we've heard of the family being in touch with the former president, and as we've been reporting here on ABC with you, Whit, for much of the last few hours, we know that many of the family was not with Donald Trump at this rally. Of course, some of them getting ready for the Republican convention starting Monday out in Milwaukee. Donald Trump Jr., of course, a frequent presence by his father's side, probably the most politically active of the Trump children in this state of affairs. Of course, his daughter Ivanka has not been on the trail. She was someone that went to the White House when Donald Trump took the presidency in 2017. But Donald Trump Jr. has been that fixture in Republican politics by his father's side, a very active fundraiser for his father, and of course someone that at a rally like this would have normally been there, if not speaking with alongside his father. So of course my understanding is that immediately the family has been trying to reach him, and now they have indeed made contact with their father, who again, just to reiterate, ABC News has learned is, quote, in good spirits, according to the former president's eldest son, Whit.
And John, forgive me if I didn't hear you earlier, talking about the former president being in good spirits and he's doing fine. Are we getting any word yet on whether he was injured in any way in this incident?
So I asked Donald Trump Jr. His understanding when I spoke to him over the phone what happened. He said it remains unclear. Even the former president was not clear on exactly what happened. Donald Trump Jr. and his siblings, I'm told from other sources, I did not ask Donald Trump Jr. this, but I know from multiple other sources, have been in touch with the Secret Service trying to get updates themselves as to what has happened. But as our team, I know you spoke to Aaron Katersky and others and Josh Margolin here at ABC News, it's an active investigation, still trying to understand what happened. Well, one thing Donald Trump Jr. did say to me we were on the phone is that, it was his father made a remark that it was a lot of blood, but again, not something, from my understanding of the conversation I had with the former president's eldest son, not something that was heightened along, if you will, right? As we reported a statement that came out from the Trump campaign that he is, quote, fine. When I had that conversation with Donald Trump Jr., seemed to emphasize that things are okay, remaining under observation, a situation still unfolding as to what happened, but nevertheless, the former president okay, and again, according to his son, Whit, in good spirits.
John Santucci, our executive editorial producer, with word from the Trump family tonight. We are just coming up at the top of the hour. It is 8 p.m. in the East, 5 p.m. in the West. If you're just joining us right now, as if this campaign couldn't get more historic and unprecedented, what law enforcement officials are now investigating as a possible assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. That is the moment you see in the video right there. All this playing out in Butler, Pennsylvania. This was a major campaign event that Donald Trump was hosting before the Republican National Convention was set to take place in Milwaukee this week. All eyes were on this rally as there was word that a potential running mate pick would be made within the next 48 hours or so. And many people were watching this to see if the former president would hint as to who he was going to pick. And instead, several minutes into the rally, multiple reports of shots fired, what witnesses described as popping sounds, and then you saw the former president right there ducking down, diving behind the podium, and then Secret Service rushing towards the former president, jumping on him and forming sort of a human shield as other law enforcement officers jump on the stage. You see them there with the long guns and the tactical gear looking into the crowd. And then these remarkable images coming in. The former president with what appears to be blood dripping from his right ear being escorted off the stage. There was also a moment there with the former president pumping his fist as the crowd started cheering when they saw that he was okay. The president then escorted into his motorcade, taken off to a nearby medical facility. Reports from the Trump campaign and the Trump family telling us that the former president is doing fine, that he's okay, that he's receiving medical treatment, but never giving us any specifics as to whether or not he was injured in any way beyond what we can see in this video. The DA in Butler County there, Pennsylvania, telling ABC News that the shooter is dead, also telling us that at least one bystander was killed and perhaps another. Witnesses that we've heard from tonight talking about blood in the stands behind the former president and people being carried away. It's unclear exactly what happened. We're still waiting on multiple sources from law enforcement to tell us, whether the threat is over. That's unclear. But again, the source information that we're getting right now is that law enforcement is treating this as a potential assassination attempt against the former president until they get information that it wasn't. Let's go back to Rachel Scott, who's our senior congressional correspondent, also has been covering the campaign for us. Rachel was inside the arena during this event and while we were on the air for World News, and it was minutes later when she heard those shots ring out. Rachel, you've now been escorted outside. You've been with us the entire evening. What are sources telling you now?
They're not allowing anything.
Yeah, this is the scene that's happening right now. We were escorted outside of the Trump rally. We are still not far from where those shots rang out inside. I just want to show you right here. There's been so much conversation about the security. These white tents right here. This is where Trump supporters were screened by Secret Service. This is typical at a Trump rally, standard with events with the former president. You go through magnetometers, you go through metal detectors, your bags are then searched. There are certain items like large bags that are prohibited from being entered into this facility, and then you are screened and you go inside of these rallies. Off into the distance there, this is the area that is now an active crime scene. We were inside the moment that this happened. We were on air with you live, Whit, for World News Tonight. Then the former president took the stage. Within several minutes of the former president being on the stage, we heard these popping noises, one right after another, after another, after another, and then there were those screams. We heard screams from the crowd, people yelling, people shouting to get down, people shouting gunfire, gunfire, cover. We, along with other Trump supporters, then ducked for cover. We took off going below the riser. We covered ourselves, covered our heads. We watched as Trump supporters tilted out of their chairs, covered themselves as well, shielded themselves. We've talked to a number of Trump supporters, one telling me all she could do was just close her eyes and pray. She just said she was praying and praying, hoping that everything would be okay. Those screams went on what felt like for several minutes. I know it was just only a matter of seconds, but it really encapsulates just sort of the frantic terror and the chaos that people were feeling in that moment, confused about what was going on. Initially, we did hear shots of gunfire and get down, but we did not know for sure. Then within just a few moments after that, we saw that image and we were there live. We witnessed it along with the former president's supporters who were in the crowd. The former president who was protected and shielded by Secret Service agents who was knocked to the ground. They protected him. He then rose up. We saw him put his fist up in the air. The crowd then cheered. Many people telling me they were relieved to see that the former president was okay. He was then escorted into his own vehicle and he was taken away immediately. Meanwhile, Whit, our eyes then went over to the bleachers. As you know, during these Trump rallies, the former president loves a crowd. He has his supporters all around him. He wants these to feel as intimate as possible, even though there are hundreds and hundreds of people there. So off over to the bleachers, what we then noticed were Secret Service agents and law enforcement officials. They were swarming what appeared to be one or possibly two individuals. And that is when all of us just sort of remained in that area. Law enforcement officials were telling everyone to still stay down to make sure they could get the situation under control. After several more moments, we did see law enforcement officials and Secret Service agents then take one individual away. I did notice that there was blood on the bleachers on that side, on that area. And then that was the moment where people started to clear out of that area. We saw law enforcement officials come out with crime tape. They started taping off the area. We continue to be live with you on the air, reporting what we saw and what we were learning in the moment. And then we saw Trump supporters start to file out one by one. Those crowds are very packed. And so many times you're not able to get cell phone reception because there's just so many people there. So this area right here started becoming a gathering place for a lot of Trump supporters, a place where they were calling their families, letting them know that they were okay, a place afterwards where people were checking on each other, trying to make sure that people were okay. And I want to bring in right now one person who was inside of this rally. Sir, you were inside.
Yes.
Where were you seated and what did you hear?
We were seated right in the front there, a little bit to the left, about 6-7 rows back, and we were just standing up listening to Trump talk there, and we just heard like a bullet, and you just seen him like swipe his ear there, you know, and the next thing you know, you heard other bullets, and he fell. Then there was like probably like 3 or more shots, you know, and then you just seen the crowd like just look over at the bleachers there, you know, and then it just got crazy there. I mean, it was so scary, you know, and I feel for all the innocent bystanders that, because there was some people that got hurt, innocent bystanders there. And we're just praying for them, make sure they're all right and that, you know, and pray for Trump.
What was your initial reaction when you heard those popping sounds? We were inside as well. It was one right after another.
It sounded like someone set fire, you know, like firecrackers off, you know, like boom, 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 you know. And then, you know, you realize something's going on here, you know, and then everybody just like hit the deck, and it was pretty scary, you know. And there must have been a shooter on the outside of the perimeter, you know, and he must have been shooting inside and hit some innocent bystanders. Because there was a big crane there with speakers, and there was a line there, and the bullet got hit. You know, the line got hit, and you can see all the fluid go out of the hydraulic line.
Yeah. Well, we know there's so many unconfirmed reports. We know law enforcement is still working. This is an active investigation right now. How are you feeling? Standing here right now, this has been a very chaotic 24 hours.
We're living in a scary time, though. You know, this world, you know, we definitely need more police, you know, to patrol everything, you know. And hopefully we'll get that with Trump coming in here. You know, so everyone should get out there and vote for him, you know.
And your reaction when you saw the former president after he was shielded by Secret Service agents? We did see him pop up. He raised his fist. I heard the crowd cheering for him.
Yeah, he was looking for his shoes. He's like, where's my shoes? But hopefully he'll be all right, though. I think he's strong, and he'll come back and be ready for November.
Well, thank you so much for your time. You know, Whit, I've been to almost every single campaign rally this election cycle, and this is typically an area right before the campaign rally starts. There are lines with Trump supporters, hundreds of people lining up, waiting to get checked in, Secret Service screening them one by one as they enter in. There's always a sense of sort of joy and excitement from the former president's supporters who are eager to go inside and watch him. And now, hours after this rally here, this has turned into an area where people are just confused. They're there is a state of that sort of panic. What do we do now? There's still some people hanging out here waiting to leave the area. Just on this other end here, there's some cars that are still sort of leaving, trying to get out of this area. You could see there the line of cars, people trying to exit this area. That gives you some perspective of just how many people actually showed up to this rally. The parking lots are very full, and so you had people not only hanging around but still trying to leave this area now that it's been secured off and now that we've been escorted out with.
And Rachel, I know you've been to so many of these Trump rallies in the past. In fact, I even remember the two of us going to the same one at the same time in New Hampshire back in 2020.